Good evening, and welcome to the second round of the Democratic National Debate for the primary. I'm your host, Chuck Todd, and yes, this is the hair I'm going with, and no, it is not human. On tonight's stage, we have with us Massachusetts Senator and a woman who hands out pencils on Halloween, Elizabeth Warren.
I'm gonna fight harder for this country than I fought to fit in this girdle.
Spiritual author and recipient of a lifetime ban from a Jamba Juice, Marianne Williamson.
I'd like to thank Twitter for keeping my campaign alive.
Former representative from Texas and man charged with having strong youth pastor energy, Beto O'Rourke.
Who?
Mayor from South Bend, Indiana, and the only gay man who looks openly homophobic, Pete Buttigieg.
I would like to say first of all, to the yes, I am relatable.
And finally, Senator from Minnesota, and your 2019 American Ninja Warrior, Amy Klobuchar.
Who's ready to get railed in the ass?
Thank you all for being here tonight in Detroit, Michigan, a city as beautiful as it is safe. Now, let's start with you, Mayor Buttigieg. We are in Detroit, a site of one of America's most fervent industry busts, and I'd like to ask you, what are your plans for keeping American jobs safe?
I would like to say first of all, to the American people, I see you. And I hear you. That's how I learned emotions. By watching. I have never felt joy or love, but I do know it exists for some. Which is why I don't believe that I need to propose actual plans for what I intend to do as president, because I do not know what I intend to do as president. I am in this race not to bring forth a better iteration of our country, but rather to feel the greatest emotion of all. Pain.
Senator Klobuchar, same question to you.
No, I agree with the twink. I believe that is exactly what this entire election is about. Pain. I mean, my constituents have been feeling pain underneath a president who is as welcome in Minnesota as a wheelchair in a revolving door. In order to understand the entire situation of our current government, we first have to understand how our jobs left these shores in the first place.
And what is that reason?
Don't make me hate you, Chuck.
Representative O'Rourke.
Yeah, I can play guitar.
Yes, that's very nice. Someone who was at one time the mass media's golden boy, you've since struggled to keep your foothold, the same foothold you've had in your Senate race against Ted Cruz in 2018. How do you plan to regain that foothold in this campaign?
Well, you see, I don't know. You text, talk to text.
That is a sick riff, brother, up top.
Yeah!
I too can play the guitar and piano, as well as speak 8 languages and...
Okay, settle down, young Sheldon. Senator Klobuchar, some of your fellow candidates have said that they too would want to, asked and answered, decriminalize illegal immigration. Do you share that stance?
Well, Chuck, I come from Minnesota, a state whose demographics are a white nationalist dream. A wet dream if you don't count North Minneapolis. Now, a majority of my constituents can only name one immigrant, and his name is Chef Boyardee. And we all agree, everybody from the tip to the bottom all agree that immigrants are the bread, butter, and beefaroni of this country, and as such cannot be illegal in any sense of the word.
Very much unlike humans, money should not be illegal.
Going off of that, Senator Warren, you've made your career as an enemy of Wall Street, saying that the only way to save our economy is to break up the big banks. Under your leadership, what would that breakup look like?
Well, Chuck, I'm glad you asked. I think it's really hard in Congress these days because you never know when a senator has a big fat grand in his pocket from one of these executives, or if he's just happy to see you. I can promise you that in my administration, we would shove our big regulatory dick right wrapped in a Constitution condom right up the ass of every bank executive that tried to ruin financially any ordinary citizen.
I'd like to respond to that as well. As someone who doesn't use banks, but keeps their fortune in a large Scrooge McDuck-style vault on the surface of the earth, that I share with my roommate, best friend, and masturbatory partner, Oprah Winfrey, let's just say big banks, unlike my jawline, are not unbreakable. I think that if we break up these banks, we can encourage the American people to invest in something of a little more value.
Such as education or the environment?
Crystals, such as amethyst, turquoise, and meth.
All right. Finally, our last question for you, Senator Klobuchar. As former prosecutor, do you believe that President Trump should be charged with the crime when leaving office?
Well, I come from Minnesota, as you've noticed. And when you look at the polling data from my state, you find two things. Number one, a shocking amount of my constituents voted for Trump in 2016, and as such, the state is in incredible danger of voting Republican in 2020, and as such, everybody eligible to vote simply must use their power to vote Democratic. Please God, please vote Democratic. Please God, thank you, please God, do it. And two, Donald Trump has grabbed America's democratic system by the pussy, spread it open like a pita bread from an ethnic restaurant whose name he can't pronounce, and taken a big soupy shit all over it. And then he grabs this delicious sandwich and feeds it to the American people like they're a colicky baby and it's a whiskey cloth. But we can still recover. It's incredible. I mean, the man pulls out of international treaties like he pulls out of porn stars, poorly and with a concerning amount of heavy breathing. There's still time to flip every state, and there's still time to flip our entire nation back around, because this man is the worst parts of America because he is a reflection of our country's worst self. And if you think that that's going to change without your active involvement, you are dead wrong and will contribute to another 4 years of anguish for America's most vulnerable people.
A wonderful sentiment. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, so we'll go back to Representative O'Rourke.
Puedo decir dónde está el baño. Je ne sais quoi.
You still have more time, Mr. O'Rourke. Could you elaborate? Wonderful, and that is all the time we have. Thanks to all of our candidates up here, Senator, Congressman, author, my homie. Bring it here, bring it here. Oh my God, I fucking love this guy. Nothing makes my liberal media dick harder than a white guy running for office, let me tell you. Speaking of which, tune in tomorrow to our next debate where we'll find out, is Jay Inslee still around, or was he just a dream we all had all along? Will Joe Biden finally learn how to ride the bus? Tune in tomorrow on NBC.
That's our show. Thank you all so much for making it tonight. Wow, we are Fools Errand. Big shout out to our cast and crew for everything. They did wonderful. Thank you, crew. Thank you to Joe Kelly for playing music. Wonderful music. To our comics, Maddie Tenninger and Caroline Skoog. They were wonderful. And thank you to the St. Paul Neighborhood Network for hosting us, as always. Thank you all so much for making it out tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much.
Think you're better than me? Well, I'll show you wrong.